Hello guys, Navneet here, back with another fragrance review. In today's video, we are going to talk about a fragrance from the brand Sapil. With that being said, I think New Year has a lot of new fragrances and I'll be reviewing a lot many fragrances this year. A lot many new houses as well, a lot many Indian houses for sure. And let's see what Sapil has to offer in this video. So Sapil has been launching a lot of discount pop-ups, and I think that you'll get it cheaper from retail as of now online. And Sapil has also started its own collection, and all of these fragrances are made in UAE. So Intense for Men, the fragrance I'm talking about today, is actually a clone or an inspiration from the very famous fragrance that is Paco Rabanne Invictus Aqua, and also a few of the hints of Paco Rabanne Legend as well. So Legend plus Aqua, this is a amalgamation of these two fragrances, and let's see what it has to offer and what's the difference between this fragrance and its predecessors, that is Seoul. So Seoul was a fragrance offered by Zara, and this fragrance was one of the go-to fragrances, but I haven't used much of this. Honestly speaking, I'm not a big fan of Paco Rabanne's Invictus series. The entire line is kind of very young for me, and it's basically for teenagers for a very young age. If you are at the age of 18 to 24, that is the kind of fragrance you would actually go for. It smells very fresh, at the same time very bubblegummy, very sweet bubblegummy. With that being said, let's see what Sapil has to offer and what is different for Intense. So Intense is a fragrance which I could actually go for, because not only is this super fresh, but this is actually very close to the original fragrance. Also, it's very decently priced, so price wise also this fragrance goes for a very good price. And the bottle and the packaging, we'll look at it in the presentation. Alright guys, let's check out the presentation. You have got the box with the name of the fragrance, there is the name of the house, the size and the concentration down here at the bottom. You have a little pocket, you can see the logo there, and at the bottom you can see there is the barcode of the fragrance. Now this fragrance is made in the United Arab Emirates, so UAE made. At the back of the box you can see there is the vaporization, natural spray and all of that details. At the side there is the quality mark from Emirates, and at the other end you can see the Sapil brand logo and the QR code. A quick look at the bottle of the fragrance. So the bottle of the fragrance has that blue shade with shade in it, so it's actually a very blue fragrance similar to Paco Rabanne Aqua. Then again, the nozzle of the fragrance is quite good, the atomizer of the fragrance is good again, and I think that they have tried to give you a very good decent bottle. So the bottle quality is compared to other good fragrances from Latafa or let's say Rasasi, because UAE made fragrances have one thing in common, that is the bottle looks very glamorous, very rich, so it gives a very rich, warm, premium feeling. And then there is the sticker of Intense for Men at the center of the box, and that's not even a sticker, that's more of a bond sort of thing, and it's in wraps. So I think this fragrance actually has something good to offer. And at the bottom you can see still the Sapil name. At the bottom you see there is the badge code and all of the required informations, a little bit informations, and all of that are not in a glass sticker but more of a thing engraved on the bottle. So that was about the bottle. Let's move on to the notes breakdown. Eventually I wasn't a fan of Sapil Intense for Men, and it came out to me very young, and the more and more I started to use this fragrance, the more and more I started to like this fragrance, because and only because this fragrance, in spite of having that sweet warm bubble bath sort of smell at the start, the dry down of the fragrance is actually that was unexpected for me, because I wouldn't actually wait for the dry down had it been on any fine day. Because whenever I go to visit all these perfume shops, you go to, let's say, a local perfume shop, you go and visit this fragrance for the first time, it's a very bubblegummy, sweet, fresh fragrance. A lot of berry scent you'll get, a lot of berry scent. Apart from that, there is a lot of bubblegum sort of fresh scent in this fragrance. And the profile of the fragrance is actually, it falls in the very same profile, that is fresh, sweet fragrance. So this is actually a fresh and a sweet fragrance. Wouldn't call this fragrance to be very masculine though, because this is not a very masculine fragrance. Both the genders can use this fragrance, and the thing with Paco Rabanne is that the fragrance they offer, it is unisex. Similarly, Sapil has made Intense for Men, but I think that women can use this fragrance as well. This is one of the fragrances which is applicable for both the genders. That being said, the notes of the fragrance had a lot of geranium in it, and I love geranium. Now geranium is a kind of note which you can expect to be very fresh. It adds the freshness to the fragrance overall, and apart from that there is heavy rush of berry. So berry is the basic note of the fragrance. Apart from that, there is more complicated notes as well at the base and there are cedar wood base. The base is of cedar wood, and apart from that, what the most prominent note I feel is the stop. It's very bubblegummy sweet, so very sweetening note, maybe sweet as sugar. So you can say this is a very sweet fragrance overall. It is the fragrance for teenagers basically. So teenagers want a very fresh fragrance. They go for fragrances like Acqua di Gio, but Acqua di Gio is supposed to be much more refined in taste, but Paco Rabanne has that extra sweetness just in case if you want sweet fragrances. So that was about Intense for Men's top notes, and the base notes are on the screen right now. You can see the notes of the fragrance just for you to get a hang of what this fragrance has to offer. So what's my take on this fragrance? My take on this fragrance would be that this fragrance is overly sweet. Of course it is. I think that this fragrance deserves applause only because this has tried to make a very clear crystal clone of Paco Rabanne Acqua with added hints of Legend. So this somewhere sort of down the line it reminds you of Legend as well. So if you are a Legend user, you can still go for this fragrance. If you are new to the fragrance game, you have heard a lot about Acqua, and I think that Invictus Acqua is a fragrance which a lot of youngsters have heard about. You can go for this fragrance. If you want a fragrance like Most Wanted from Azzaro, this is again a good similar fragrance, does not fall in the same category, but still this is a good fragrance which could compensate all three of these fragrances. So this is essentially a very blue fresh fragrance. That being said, it was overly synthetically sweet for me at the start. The start of the fragrance was very nauseating. For the first 10 minutes, I could not even smell anything apart from this fragrance. So it is somewhat has a good projection, somewhat has a good longevity. Longevity of the fragrance is 7+ hours, and the projection of the fragrance is 2 hours at least. So good projection at the start. The projection can reach around 10 feet, and I think a lot of people will actually notice you, because the thing with these kind of fragrances is that these are mass pleasing fragrances. These are designer fragrance clones, so these are mass pleasing. They have that compliment getter notes in these fragrances. Apart from that, I think that this is the fragrance which a lot of youngsters might use, because those kind of fresh vibes which you get after the shower, this is the fragrance which will provide you with that. Also, it comes at a very cheap rate, so I think that a lot of people will go for this fragrance. It looks kind of premium, looks kind of very plush, and people who are wanting to invest in this fragrance for the very first time should absolutely go with this fragrance, because somewhere down the line, if you compare it with its predecessor, that is Ciol had that overly synthetic sweetness, but the thing with Intense for Men is that it is overall balanced. It still has that synthetic sweetness at the start, but after 10 to 15 minutes it balances out. It gets very close to the skin, gets very it blends very well to the skin, and I think that its predecessor should actually learn something from it. But still, the cost of this fragrance is cheaper, and the bottle of the fragrance looks much more minimalistic. So I think that they have done something of a very premium sort of thing with Sapel, and they are making fragrances in the UAE as of now. Good initiative by Sapel. I actually am falling in love with the brand, and I'll try more of the fragrances. Do let me know in the comment section down below which other Sapel fragrance would you want me to review, because I would like to try this brand. With that being said, I think that if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do subscribe, and do let me know in the comment section what you feel about this fragrance. If at all you have used this fragrance has to be a good fragrance overall, but I think that a lot of you might have a hate for Invictus, as I have that. And with that being said, do let me know in the comment section, and do subscribe to the channel, because your subscribe helps me boost the algorithm of YouTube and helps me reach more and more people. Signing off, Navneet. Have a good day ahead.